What happens when a motorcycle gang member gets out of jail but literally cannot find anywhere to live? Today we're diving into the bizarre case of Anthony Trimboli, a member of the notorious Mongols motorcycle gang, who's stuck behind bars not because he committed a new crime, but because he can't find housing that meets the court's very specific requirements. This story has everything: rival biker gangs, a massive brawl during Bike Week, high-tech surveillance, and a legal system struggling with the realities of gang culture. Let's break down how a housing shortage became a prison sentence. The brawl. Our story begins on March 8, 2025, during Daytona Bike Week, one of the largest motorcycle rallies in the world. Picture this: thousands of bikers, roaring engines, and what should have been a celebration of motorcycle culture. But at a racetrack gas station on State Road 44, two notorious outlaw motorcycle gangs were about to turn this celebration into a war zone. The Warlocks had gathered at this gas station, preparing for their traditional group ride into Daytona Beach. These aren't your weekend warrior bikers. Both the Warlocks and the Mongols are classified by law enforcement as criminal organizations with decades of history and chapters across multiple states. From their clubhouse in nearby Edgewater, the Mongols rode in with different intentions. According to the Volusia Sheriff's Office, the Mongols initiated what became a massive brawl. Fists flew, chaos erupted, and then came the gunshots. When the smoke cleared, Anthony Trimboli, our 35-year-old Mongols member, was lying on the ground with a gunshot wound to his abdomen. A Warlock member had been grazed by a bullet to his head. Both men would later claim these were accidental discharges, but the damage was done. This single incident would lead to charges against more than 30 members of the Mongols gang. But Trimboli's story was just getting started. The man behind the tattoos. Let's talk about Anthony Trimboli himself, because his appearance tells a story that goes way deeper than just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Trimboli's bald head is a canvas of loyalty. Most prominently displayed is the Mongol symbol, a caricature of Genghis Khan, the 13th century Mongol emperor. This isn't just artwork. It's a declaration that you're part of an organization that sees itself as modern-day conquerors. Then there are the letters RFFN, respect few, fear none. This is the Mongols' motto, and if you understand gang culture, you know this isn't just tough guy posturing. It's a code that governs how members interact with law enforcement, rivals, and society as a whole. Trimboli listed his address as Naples, Florida, a wealthy area in Southwest Florida. This detail is important because it shows how these gang members often live double lives, existing in respectable communities while maintaining their underground allegiances. But here's where things get legally complicated. Trimboli was charged with aggravated rioting and conspiracy to commit aggravated rioting with gang enhancement. That last part, gang enhancement, is crucial. It means Florida law recognizes this wasn't just a bar fight that got out of hand, but coordinated criminal activity by an organized group. Freedom and violation. So Trimboli gets arrested on July 9th and actually makes bond on August 5th. He's out of jail with some pretty standard conditions. Stay out of Volusia County unless you have court business, and don't contact anyone else charged in this massive case. Seems reasonable, right? Well, freedom lasted exactly 23 days. Here's where modern technology becomes the prosecutor's best friend. On August 25th, a Daytona Beach police officer pulls over Trimboli's 2013 Nissan Sentra for a window tint violation. Just a warning, no big deal, except for one problem: he's in Volusia County, where he's banned from going. But that traffic stop was just the tip of the iceberg. License plate readers throughout Volusia County had been tracking his car like a GPS ankle monitor he didn't know he was wearing. Between August 18th and 25th, just 1 week, his license plate was detected more than 30 times by automated readers throughout the county. Every time he passed a scanner at an intersection, parking lot, or highway entrance, it was recorded with time and location stamps. This is the reality of modern law enforcement. We're living in an age where your car's license plate creates a digital trail everywhere you go. For Trimboli, this technology was inescapable proof that he was flagrantly violating his bond conditions. Assistant State Attorney Erica Kane used this evidence to file a motion requesting his bond be revoked. On August 28th, Trimboli was back in custody, and this time getting out would prove much more complicated: the housing nightmare. This is where our story takes a turn that's almost absurd. When Trimboli appeared before Circuit Judge Elizabeth Blackburn on September 2nd, his defense attorney had what seemed like a simple solution. Trimboli would move in with a roommate in a Daytona Beach townhouse. Problem solved, right? Wrong. The proposed roommate was also a member of the Mongols motorcycle gang. Now, technically, Trimboli's original bond conditions didn't say he couldn't live with another Mongol. They just said he couldn't contact anyone charged in this specific case. But Judge Blackburn saw right through this loophole. She understood something that goes to the heart of how these organizations operate. Here's her exact quote: "It is very likely that another member of the same motorcycle association would be used as a conduit to pass information along." This wasn't legal theory. This was practical wisdom about how tight-knit these gangs really are. Members don't just ride together on weekends. They're part of a brotherhood with codes, hierarchies, and loyalty that extends far beyond what most people understand. But the judge found even more problems with this arrangement. What if the roommate had firearms, weapons, or ammunition in the house? Even if Trimboli couldn't access them, their presence would violate his bond conditions. This created an impossible situation where he could be held responsible for someone else's legal possessions. Judge Blackburn's solution was straightforward but challenging. Find housing that's not connected to other Mongols members. It has to be stable enough for him to receive mail, so no living in his car. And if his defense attorney can find something acceptable, she'll reconsider his release. Sounds simple, but think about this realistically. Who wants to rent to someone facing serious gang-related charges? And if you're willing to help, there's a good chance you have some connection to the motorcycle community, which might disqualify you under the judge's criteria. The bigger picture. Trimboli's case isn't just about one guy who can't find an apartment. It's a window into much larger issues about how our justice system deals with organized criminal activity in the 21st century. Both the Mongols and warlocks have histories stretching back decades, with chapters across multiple states. Their rivalry isn't new. It's rooted in territorial disputes and business conflicts that have been simmering for years. Events like Daytona Bike Week bring these groups together in close proximity, creating situations that law enforcement monitors very closely. The fact that over 30 Mongols members were charged suggests this wasn't a spontaneous fight, but coordinated activity by an organized group. This is exactly what enhanced gang penalties are designed to address. But there's another layer to this story that's equally important. Both Trimboli and the wounded warlock member refused to provide complete statements about their injuries to police. Even when cooperation could mean lighter sentences, the no-snitching culture runs so deep that victims won't help prosecutors build cases against their attackers. This creates a fascinating paradox where the justice system is trying to protect people who don't want to be protected, at least not in the traditional sense. So where does this leave Anthony Trimboli? As of today, he's still sitting in the Volusia County Branch Jail, not because he's been convicted of a crime, but because he literally cannot find housing that meets the court's requirements. His case represents the collision between traditional outlaw motorcycle culture, which values independence and brotherhood above all else, and a modern justice system equipped with sophisticated surveillance tools and enhanced penalties for organized criminal activity. It's a story that raises questions about rehabilitation, the role of technology in law enforcement, and what happens when gang loyalty becomes both a criminal liability and a barrier to reintegration into society. What do you think? Is Judge Blackburn's housing requirement reasonable, or does it create an impossible situation? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into cases that reveal the complexities of our legal system. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.